Hey, Chris, you are drinking some wine, and I think you're somewhere special today. Where are you, Chris?
Hey, well, I'm at home right now,
Oh,
but
you're at home. What the heck? You're not supposed to be at home. You're supposed to be in a different country.
no, back.
Do
But
you-
I'm
no.
excited because for those who are watching the video, just came back from the French Open, baby,
What's
and
that?
kind of crazy. Just Paris Saint-Germain won today against Inter Milan, Champions League, and they're rioting right now in Paris. So just missed the Paris riots. They're citywide,
Wow.
full of cannons and car flipping and all the whole shebang.
Of course. When a city loses, they get all angry. Such a
They
normal
won.
thing.
They won 5-0.
Oh, they're rioting in
Winning.
celebration.
Yeah, man.
Hilarious. Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty funny.
Just ducked out of there because I think we left around 6 p.m. and the game must have ended like right after, dude.
So
So
was this
could have been a
yesterday?
could have been a really interesting week. Today, they're riding right now.
Okay, wait. So today is Saturday night there, and you just came from Paris. Did you come back from Paris by train, I assume?
No, it flew.
Oh, okay, you flew from Paris a few hours ago? I don't know why. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Wait, so you watched tennis this morning,
I watched
and
tennis yesterday.
you watched tennis yesterday. Okay. So you flew back this morning, and today's the finals?
Oh, I flew back like 2 hours ago, dude.
Okay, oh God, okay, you flew back 2 hours ago, and today's the finals or tomorrow? I don't understand. I don't know what I didn't watch any of the tennis. I don't know who's playing.
There's no finals right now because it's Saturday.
The final.
There's football finals. Champions League finals was today.
Oh, I get it. You're talking about football, soccer for our Canadian fans. Yes.
Listen,
Okay. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Okay. But
I
I
was
thought.
there for tennis. Then football occurred. Paris won. Now they're riding.
Oh, I get it now. Champions League. Got it. Okay, I played soccer growing up, but I don't really know like Premier League, Champions League. I don't know this like football hierarchy of craziness, to be honest. I've never
Okay,
lived in
Premier
Europe.
League is
I've never lived in
Premier
Europe.
League is UK.
Oh, okay. Also didn't know that. I've never been to a proper football game in the UK or in Europe whatsoever. So I've never heard the chants. I've heard it's electric, but I have no idea. Okay, let's talk about the
Yeah.
tennis though. So how was the Paris Open? Is that what it's called? French Open. French Open. French Open.
Oh my God. Turn in your man card. Jesus.
Here you go.
Turn it in.
You know, I like to
You got the
tell people
bathroom next to you.
I'm a player. I like to play sports. I don't like to watch
Yeah.
sports. Okay. I don't know.
Yeah. I do both. Uh, no, it's good, dude. Just spent 2 nights in Paris and met up with one of our old buddies, Dave. And he and his wife were there. Obviously, we all used to play tennis together in Calgary, including you with us. And yeah, he's a bigger tennis fan than I am. So he was just wrapping up a 3-week trip to Europe. Uh, and I met up with him and his wife in Paris, brought my friend along. And man, we just caught some French Open action. So my first time at a Grand Slam. And I got to tell you, pretty happy about it.
Ooh,
Great.
first Grand Slam. Cool. I think I saw a picture. Dave had a bushy beard, is what I noticed. He looked
Yeah.
he looked grizzled. Um, Grand Slam. Okay, wait, I'm trying to think of all the Grand Slams now. Wimbledon, French Open. I went to the Italian Open once, which is not a Grand Slam. That's like a thousand level, I think. Um, U.S. Open, Australian Open. Is there another one? I don't
No,
know.
just the four.
Just a four. Okay. Wow, interesting. French Open. The French Open is on clay.
Yeah. It's the one that Dolls won a bunch of times.
Yes. I saw that. I saw that Instagram post where this guy's interviewing Nadal, and he's like, "So I'm gonna test your knowledge of who won, a bunch of, French Opens, and he's like 2022 and 2021 and 2020, and he went all the way back, and he won like 15 odd French Opens or something like that.
That's right. 15 of them.
Is that right? I don't know. I'm just guessing. Is that really right? Oh, I just guessed.
Mhm.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, he's won basically more than like the length of some people's careers. You know what I mean? Like 15 is the numbers he's won. Like some people make 15 years.
Okay, can you explain why did Nadal have such a big edge? Like, what was his game that made him win?
He had a very high topspin shot. So the ball, he added a lot of like rotational speed to the ball, and like a high topspin shot, it benefits most from playing on clay. So it kicks up the clay kind of makes the ball kick up a lot higher. So that plus him being left-handed, I think gave him a pretty unique edge playing on clay. And of course, I think as a European, you kind of grow up on clay as well, and so it's just like your preferred surface. So I think he just, I don't know, and of course he's just amazing. I mean, legendary good. Never, never like stops fighting for each ball. So like you could be like kicking his ass, but if he's not out of the game, he's just giving every ounce of effort. So like you're never safe. So
So
I think his mental is also like really good.
are you? I know you've been playing in your tennis club. Are you converted to a clay player now? I mean, your club's all clay, right?
Yeah,
Are you
yeah.
like clay for the
Uh,
win is better than what we have in Calgary?
it's not better. It's just what's available at each city, right? But I think if Calgary had clay, I would play on clay. I mean, you probably haven't played with me in the last few years significantly, but like I slide on hard courts anyway, so I think just like the style of playing on clay is more also conducive to my gameplay. So
But
yeah, I like it a lot.
but are you raking it between sets? Do you
I'm not
rake it?
raking between sets. I rake it when I'm like done playing.
I see. So you do a proper rake after a game or after a match, you're saying, and then you arrive to the court where it's raked, or you rake when you arrive.
No, it's raked like everybody rakes at the end of each session,
That makes sense.
so
Okay.
it's ready for the next one.
Nice. Okay. I've only played on clay one time in Vancouver, so it was a blast, and I really liked clay. I actually have clay tennis shoes that I bought at the Italian Open because I wanted to play on clay more, which I haven't accomplished yet. But
Yeah, I don't know what I have. I still have the hardcore shoes, and there's a clay version of mine, but haven't worn mine out yet. So I'll probably get the clay version next time I gotta buy new shoes, and then see if there's a difference.
I just saw them at the Italian Open, and I was like, "Whoa, these look interesting." They're like grippy on the bottom, but then also have that like toe hook grip. It just looked interesting, and I bought a pair, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to use these, but I like their look. Being from Canada, I assume, and Calgary, I don't think there's like a clay court here, right? There's not a single clay court in Calgary, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think
There might
so.
be like two somewhere, but I don't know where they are.
Nice. I'm glad you're excited, man. I think Paris sounds dope. That sounds like a great trip.
Man, it's funny. I'm very much not like a Paris tourist, and so I went with my friend uh, Connie, and it was her first time in Paris. So she wanted to do all the stuff, and I was like, she's like, "Oh, you're the Paris expert," and I'm like, "No, I've been to Paris a bunch of times, but it's always just to like hang out." So the last time I was in Paris, I went for literally 18 hours, less than a day. We had a meeting because I work in geothermal. So we had a meeting with the International Energy Agency, the IEA, and they're based in Paris. So I went for less than a day. I flew in and then I took the train home. And then the last time I was there, which is last August, I went for a couple days just to go see the Olympics. But like I didn't go see like anything, right? Like I didn't go see any of the museums, didn't see any of that shit. So actually, it's interesting. I've been to that city a lot. I think it's been 4 or 5 times now, but I've yet to step foot in the Louvre. I haven't been inside Notre Dame. I just go to hang out. It's such a nice city, even when you're just in it. Like it's so pretty and like yeah, the architecture and just everything about it. Just so much beauty. Something
Cool.
about that city is great, and the food is excellent. Like they're super snobby about food, so even like any restaurant is gonna have fucking fantastic food. I had a great baguette for breakfast today. It's excellent. Such in a good mood.
That's awesome. I've never been to France.
Yeah.
I know so little about France. I've heard good stories, but just I don't know. I've never made it that country before. Been to Portugal. I've been, UK, and I've been to Germany, but I've not been to France. Um, yeah, no, it sounds nice. Um, sometimes I mean, it sounds like Paris is a really, really touristy place where people, strive to go there. It's a romantic place, the Eiffel Tower. So my intuition is that it probably has a lot of negatives about it too. Probably too many tourists and a bunch of things that sort of suck about a too touristy city, which I've noticed on some certain cities. So I feel like my intuition is like the outskirts are probably better. They're kind of more authentic and, the best parts about
Yeah.
Paris.
So, got I don't know if it's luck or not, but so a friend I went to junior high and high school with, she lives there now. Just bought a place there, and she works for uh, one of the government organizations. I guess I shouldn't give too many revealing info, but so we just hung out with her today. So that was awesome. Just got like the local flavor, saw the local shit, had a great brunch. So yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, I would say it was probably one of the better, definitely my top three, probably the best, but like probably one of the best 2 night trips I've done. At least, maybe in my life, definitely in recent memory. Like this person I went with, we flew out like at like 6 in the morning on Thursday morning, so 2 days ago,
Got it.
and then we just got back like 2 hours ago. So like 2 full days, or like we sorry 2 nights and 3 full days, just maximizing like
Ah,
the
you
two
took
nights we
that
had there. It
real
was
early
awesome.
flight, and we're talking about like a 45 minute flight, right?
No,
From
it's about an hour.
Oh, it's an hour. Okay, okay. Düsseldorf. I mean, just going up and down essentially, like a Vancouver flight. No, oh, interesting. I don't. I
Uh,
mean,
yeah,
did,
you don't read maps, so you don't know where anything is. I got it.
well, I like to visualize them by you describing to me which direction you traveled. So from Dusseldorf, you went west, right?
And south,
West and south. Okay, to get to Paris. Thanks for orientating me.
southwest. Yeah,
Love
no
it.
problem.
Um,
Uh,
yeah, that's funny. What was I? Yeah, I think. No, it
yeah,
sounds
it's,
beautiful. Wait, no, you could have took the train, right? It just would have been 8 hours or 7 hours, 5 hours. I don't
no,
remember.
the train's like 3 hours 40 minutes, dude.
Wait, then why would you
4 hours.
take the train? Why would you take a flight?
Well, think of some reasons why maybe I couldn't take the train, Adil.
Why couldn't you take the train?
I'm gonna drink some wine while you hamster wheel goes.
There's a train that leaves at 6 a.m. You would have not had to check in to the airplane and do all the crap with luggage and go to an airport and all the annoying things about airports. You just jump on a train and it just takes you to the place. I don't know.
So the train's the better option. Why didn't I take the train?
They were all sold out, the tickets?
Yeah, fucking idiot, of course.
Oh, what? I don't know. Okay, I guess so. You can't book it. You're saying they're booked in advance because of the French Open, and they were all booked. Or I don't know. The French Open
Yeah,
books out all the train lines to the city.
I have no idea. There's no train ticket. Obviously, the train is a better choice. I was forced to fly.
Okay, you were forced to fly. Okay, great. So then I don't feel like I need it anymore because I assumed you took the train. I was like, why are you flying to Paris? Isn't it right next door?
You also
Okay.
thought the train took 8 hours, so I don't think it
Oh
would have
God,
been
hey,
the
okay, wait.
train.
Okay, my perspective on how long trains take is very confused right now because I did like 400 kilometers in like 45 minutes in China recently, And I'm like, wait, are trains that quick in a lot of places? I don't know. How fast does a train
But you
go
don't even
from?
know where Paris is from Dusseldorf. You have no idea
I know
about
it's
speed or
west.
times.
I know
Why
it's
would hours?
west. I know it's west.
Amsterdam is west.
Oh, really? Oh, shit. Okay, how many kilometers away is Dusseldorf from Paris? Huh?
Yo, I have no idea. It's probably like 600.
And that's a 1.5 hour train? No, 3.5 hour
It's
train.
4 hours.
4 hour train. 4 hour train, 600 kilometers, 150 kilometers an hour. Okay, got it. Okay, got it. Interesting. It's good to know. I don't know.
But yes, obviously the train is better.
Yes, okay, great. Yeah, I agree. Trains are just better than planes. No question about it. How do we get planes to be as good as trains? It should be able to, right? Like we just need to suck.
Better over longer distances. Like at some point the plane's better, but the fixed cost of a plane doesn't exceed a 4 hour train ride.
No, I know, but that's not the problem. The problem with the plane is that it's the customs, the
That's
checking in, the security services, the annoying part that your plane doesn't take off on time, the fact that like the boarding process sucks, and like zone control, and like all these little intricacies that make the plane experience sucky. The fact that the runways are all clogged, you gotta wait 30 minutes on the tarmac, like we just need.
there's that. I would say the biggest problem for this leg actually is the fact that like Charles de Gaulle, which is the airport, Paris airport, um, it's not in the city. It's like an hour out of Paris. So it's like by the time I get off the plane and then I
Oh,
still have to take an hour train to get into
exactly,
Paris.
exactly. It sucks.
Should
Like
have just taken the high speed rail directly to the main station that's in the middle
exactly,
of Paris. Yeah.
exactly. I completely agree. Okay, but now I just think this is solvable. Like we just need these tubes that like train you exactly onto the plane, and then you take off and you land, and like it's gotta get rid of all the crap in between.
Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, the security wasn't too bad. It's within EU, so it's the same as flying within Canada, right? Like you don't really have customs or anything. But um, yeah, I think anything sub 4 to 5 hours. Yeah, even 6 hours. A 6 hour train ride is still better than the plane, depending on where the airport is relative to the city. Like the Dusseldorf airport is good because that airport's like within the city. But if it's like way outside, like Berlin or Paris, you're like $100 cab ride or a 1 hour, you know, transit ride to get where the cool stuff is anyway. So
So I will say I experienced one exception to the rule on where there was a plane ride that was really cool, and that's commuting from Vancouver to Victoria. If you take one of the seaplanes, you can go from city center to city center. And I thought that was so cool. It's a 45-minute flight, and you can go right from the harbor in downtown Vancouver to the harbor in Victoria. And that was the coolest thing to avoid the suckiness of the airports being so far away.
yeah, I think that's a pretty unique situation though, because you're basically just chartering a plane. So you're like saying, I'm flying private, essentially, is what you're doing. So, of course, that's going to beat normal airports.
Agreed. And it's small little Cessnas, right? Like it can fit like 12 people, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
So, anyway, yeah, the person I went with, Connie, she's also big into tennis. And so, man, we just grinded out. We were on the grounds for like 10 hours. It's awesome. Just watched everything. And weather was like 30 degrees. Yeah, it's just a great day. We are there probably from like 11 a.m. Maybe a bit, yeah, 11:30 a.m. to like 10 p.m. It was a good 10-hour day on the grounds,
Wow.
which like I fucking love tennis, so that was awesome. Turns out she liked it as much as I did, which is also great. So it's always fun when you travel with someone, and this was like our first time, and you just find like someone you are compatible with as far as traveling goes, because that's like a different
Yeah,
communication style too, right? Like
totally.
it's
Some of
always
the
exciting when you, yeah,
when you match puzzle pieces and you're actually like a similar kind of
yeah,
traveler. Oh man, it's so funny. I remember you told me about your friend Erica teaching you how to like walk in a city back in the day and how important that was. That was a good learning lesson and also like a different mindset, right? To do, more walk commuting than, taxing everywhere. I think that's one thing, even just taking the train is a different concept of like enjoying taking the train around the city instead of, I don't know. I think travel companions matter. You really have to click and you have to enjoy it.
Totally. You gotta have like it starts from like the airport anxiety, right? Like, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
how how soon should you go? Like, do you need ample time, which I personally think is a waste? Or do you want to be like the last guy walking in the plane, which is what I like, right?
Oh,
Like,
totally. Hey, no, it's
and
even more
so
common that's like, hey, are you bringing a gigantic suitcase and obnoxiously
yeah,
large, and are you using a travel backpack because you know it's a 2 day trip and you're like organized, right? Like, there's a lot of intricacies I think about traveling, and some people do it differently, right?
totally. So, and it's you almost should have like a pre-travel interview, which we obviously didn't have. But it was just like, do you like tennis? Because I'm going to go watch tennis. And then the rest was just pure luck. So I'm like also very grateful for that.
You know what? For the
Uh,
most part, I find two people can figure it out. Four people gets more complicated, and when you have like 6 or 8 people groups, oh my God, it's a nightmare.
honestly, honestly, even four is too many. It's like two, I think, is the best number because, like, even trying to meet Dave and his wife, like, they want to go do something, and he's gonna be there for his wife, and so even like on the grounds, we didn't connect as much because I was just with Connie and he was with his wife. But we managed to sit through a couple matches together. It was also awesome just to meet a buddy in another place doing something we all love, and they're also big tennis nerds, so we're all just chilling there. Like, it was great, dude. And yeah, so my soul is recharged after a 6 week grind as MD. So just needed like a couple days of like true vacation. It was good.
Nice. So, oh
Yeah.
man, my life. I
And
have more travel plans coming up, so I'm hopping around,
yeah,
I
you
guess.
said you're going back to Asia.
Doing
I'm going
another.
to Munich right,
Oh, nice.
this coming week. So for work, it'll be less good.
Wednesday, I'm flying back to Asia and doing a very similar trip to my last one, I assume. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I was going to explain to you like why. I don't really know why. Maybe I think I don't know if I talked about this in the last pod. Just had a feeling I wanted to do it and do some more. It was fun last time. I got a lot of progress done, and I figured just do it again. Why not? Yeah,
Yeah. No, I think you explained it well enough, I guess.
yeah. But a little stressful because I feel like I only had 2.5 weeks here, and it just oh man, jet lag was really rough this time, and just trying to get settled, and I'm finally back into routine here, and I got to take off again. But I'm getting better at it. But I don't know. Other side of the world is a weird gambit, man. It's not the easiest time zone change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what
I
do I?
think flying, f- flying west is better. That's why you have bad jet lag coming back from Asia. Because when I go back to Canada from Europe, I'm fine. You just stay up a bit later, and then you're back in bed again.
So sorry,
So
why is flying east worse than flying west? Is it because you're speeding up the
but
sun or something? Or you're, I don't know,
gotta no, just gotta stay awake for longer, man. So
stay awake for longer. Oh,
okay, God, should I buy you a globe? Let me give you an
I
example.
would like a globe. Yes, thank you. A really nice one for
You
Christmas.
just look like you never have any idea where anything is.
I'm trying to do the
Um,
computation and I just don't believe you. I don't think it's true what you just said out loud. It's just, it doesn't compute in my
most people
brain.
would agree with
Um,
most people would agree with you.
you just said out loud that traveling east makes your day
It's
longer
harder.
and thus you get worse jet lag. But to me, it depends on the time frame. Are you traveling east for 8 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours, 24
Traveling
hours? I mean,
traveling any distance where you would get jet lag. Obviously, going to Toronto doesn't fucking matter. Like, So let me just give you the example.
Give,
Jesus.
give me an example. Give me an example.
Who does more transatlantic flying, me or you? Come on. It's me.
Okay, it's you.
Let me save you
Oh,
that
it's
answer.
you. Okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so let's say you go from uh, Calgary to Amsterdam, which is like an 8-hour flight. The Amsterdam flight from Calgary, the KLM flight, leaves at 3:30 p.m. Calgary time. So you go east, takes 8 hours. You arrive at 11:30 p.m. Calgary local time. But then Amsterdam's 8 hours ahead of Calgary, so it's 7:30 in the morning there.
Got it.
You probably slept like shit on the plane
Yep.
because you fly economy.
Yep.
So you basically just pulled an all-nighter and you got to start your day again because it's 7:30 in the morning when you get there. It's that simple. And like you can't check into a hotel because the rooms aren't ready at that point in time. So you basically just have to live another day on like very little sleep. So like traveling east is like mathematically harder.
Got it. You're saying because you travel east. Okay, I get it. I get what you just said. You said traveling east loses you an 8 hour to 10 to 12 hour period of time where you could possibly get good sleep or rest, and thus you have an all-nighter effect of jet lag. But I don't think this is my computation because I think sometimes when you're in Asia for a month and you travel back to Canada east, you get jet lag for like a week. Why would one all-nighter wreck you for a whole week or two even? And I think it's because
Most
you
people,
transition to a new circadian rhythm, and then changing circadian rhythms across the world.
is that not literally the definition of jet lag?
No, but you just said all-nighter. You said just all-nighter wrecks you. I think mm, it's the switching that matters. It's not the fact like you have to sometimes do the switching when you go west too, right? Like when you
When I
fly
fly
from
back to Canada, I don't get jet lag at all. I just continue on with my day because because you don't have to pull an all-nighter. You're just on the plane during normal waking hours, and then you just have to like stay up for like 6 or 7 more hours, and then it's nighttime again. So you're not pulling an all-nighter. You're just up late, but you're not pulling an all-nighter essentially.
So I'm computing it a little differently because I'm imagining flying to Vietnam, which could be really painful because you got to go over the pole, sort of. And it can be anywhere from a 16 or 17-hour flight to a 28-hour flight of three connections. So that
I'm not arguing with
wrecks
you. I'm
you.
just
And,
saying.
I, and I'm just saying out loud that
Just
I'm trying to
saying.
figure it out that like it can over teen of hours is messed up. But I don't know. You may be right. Maybe you're right.
I'm not arguing with you. I know I'm right. Most people who travel agree
Totally.
with
I've
that.
heard
So
this too. When I came back from Asia East, jet lag wrecked me. When I went west, it didn't wreck me. So
yeah.
you must be right. Weird. So I was just trying to figure out how to. So are you saying when I fly out on Wednesday, I'm not going to be wrecked when I get to Viet Korea at 6 p.m. Oh God, I don't know what time. I arrive at 8 a.m. I arrive at 8 a.m. Oh man, how do we know? Yeah, what the heck? I'm leaving at 7 p.m. and I arrive at 8 a.m. in Korea. Doesn't that wreck me? I'm so confused.
Yeah, but you'll probably sleep on the plane because it's normally close to your bedtime.
Oh, I see. Get it. Kind of get it. Interesting. So I have a
If
pitch
you
for you,
fly
bud.
east to Amsterdam, it's in the middle of the day and you're trying to sleep so that you don't wake up at 7 at local and have to live another day. But you can't sleep because you flew out in the afternoon and you're in economy and the stewardess is smashing your elbows.
Yes, smash my elbows. Fucking sucks. Every time. Hey, you want to hear my pitch? I have a pitch for you. I don't know if this is
Yeah,
well thought out.
debating if I'm done talking about Roland Garros.
Keep
I mean,
talking
you
about
kind
Roland
of,
Garros. I would prefer more tennis
yeah.
talk too. Tell me some more tennis talk.
Well, we got super unlucky because um, no, it was Novak Djokovic's day off, and I obviously just want to see as much Novak as possible before he retires.
Which
So
is
that
soon, probably
sucked.
a few more years.
Yeah, I know. And then we had day tickets, which I think, in my opinion, are the better tickets, and tell you why. But we had day tickets, and how it works is like your day ticket's only good for the main stadium, right? And then you can just go to any of the other side courts or anything like that with your ticket, but it guarantees you a seat in the main stadium, like, center court. And they were giving Carlos Alcaraz, he's 22. Are you following tennis still, or am I just name dropping random
I
people
remember hearing
quickly?
Carlos Alcaraz's name, but sure, go ahead.
He's already won like three slams. He's 22. They say he's like the next Nadal, like same play style, like big power, but
Okay.
and like really loopy forehand as well. Uh, and they gave him the night session for the first time in the tournament. Like he's been playing the day session, so we missed him too because we had the fucking day tickets.
That's too bad.
So the shitty thing is like, the sort of the headliner match wasn't as good as it wasn't like superstars,
Okay.
but did see it was a 3.5 hour five setter, so that was cool. So for my first Grand Slam to see a five-set match go all the way, that was pretty sick.
And then, sorry,
So,
I didn't I don't know if you said it earlier, but who were the two players who played in your headliner
oh no,
match?
no, I didn't say. It was Holger Rune, the Danish guy,
Okay.
and he's kind of like a douchey bad boy. Like we saw him yell at the ref like four times,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then he played a French guy. So of course, like the French fans were just mindlessly
Of course
cheering
they
for their
are.
flag. So it was like a super rowdy game. So it's kind of entertaining. And then like my friends also like didn't like the fact that he was really douchey, so like they were cheering for the French guy as well. And
That's
so
funny. Who is the French guy?
there was definitely like some home team. I don't know, his name was like Quentin Halise or something
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
like
Yep.
basically unranked as far as we all care, right? He's probably like there's probably like 40 people better at tennis than him in the world, and no one gives a fuck who he is.
Got it. So what final was this? Quarterfinals? Was this semifinals?
No,
What
it's round three.
round three?
Round
Got it.
three.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah, because
So
it goes into the next week, right?
I see. Got it. So it was round three, and they were playing each other, and they went to five sets, and it went back and forth. I
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but
Nice.
the better ranked guy ended up winning. So the douchey guy ended up winning because he's I think ranked 10th,
Oh
and
wow.
so yeah, uh, yeah. But it was cool.
Any of the side
It's
courts have
the
any
whole
cool
selfish.
action, or I mean,
Yeah. So the beauty was we got to catch Alcaraz practicing. So in
oh
a lot of ways
cool.
that's even better because
That's
you're just
yeah,
like
cool.
20 feet away from him, watching them less in like show mode, and you're kind of seeing what they do to get ready and stuff. So he was
Totally. The warm up.
and that was sick. And like Dave was one of the first guys who saw him. Like we were leaving the main stadium, looking at the practice court, and then he was like, "Oh my god, is that Alcaraz?" And we just like fucking sped walked to him, and then we got there uh, before I think any of the fans realized it was
Totally.
him practicing.
Totally.
And then like this giant line formed, and like security had to like ribbon off people because it was at like capacity. So we ended up just sitting there for like 20 minutes watching him practice. So it was pretty sick, actually.
Nice. And you had decent
Yeah.
looking. You were in the front or something like that on the practice
Oh
court to see
yeah.
it.
There's only like on the practice court, it's only like three deep. So like you have a good view.
Ooh, so yeah, you're deep. Yeah, I got it. I remember what the
And it's
practice court
at
looks like.
court level, right? You're
Yeah,
just
it's
sitting at
court
court
level.
level.
It's
It's
court level.
sick.
That is much different than being, in the stadium up so high, right?
Yeah. So
Nice.
I should post those YouTube videos because like that's the type of content people want. It's like, okay,
Totally.
there was like a
The
hundred people
behind the
there.
scenes, right? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. No, that's cool. See,
So that
that's
was cool because I didn't know the French Open had that. The only other tournament that had that was Indian Wells, where they publicized the practice courts so you could see also the practice schedules. So they invite fans. So I think the French Open must have stolen that from Indian Wells, which is like a really nice like
cool.
bonus to give the fans.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I
But
assumed
then,
that.
oh man, the other thing about that is just like, uh, sorry to interrupt
No,
you.
no, 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 no. Keep
The
going.
man, the amount of people who just love French Open merch, like the fucking gift shop was massive. It's all sponsored by like Lacoste and like, oh, sick.
This is exactly what I was going to ask you, actually, because I, I remember when we were in Montreal. Um, there was a few things to do, right? Like there's like a, you can
Yeah.
practice serving and some, practice little things, right? But when I went to the Italian Open, I really loved their merch. Their merch boots were so cool, right? And I was like, what's going on here? This is awesome. It felt just a blast of like a festival of merch,
Oh, that's what it was, man. You're on the grounds. It's a big festival. Everybody's just having fun. It's
Yeah.
kind of bougie, right? Like you're drinking
It's a little
like
bougie. It's a little
fucking
bougie for sure.
champagne.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. But of course they banned, okay, given the fact that they're now rioting in Paris because of the PSG win, they banned alcohol sales on any of the courts because I think the fans are too rowdy.
Totally.
So you couldn't drink while you were watching tennis, which sucked. You could only drink once you're outside of the court, just like milling around the grounds.
Oh
But
wow, okay. That's different.
I'm like, oh man, that's why we can't have nice things. The French fans just too rowdy, man. Too
Man,
rowdy.
I remember I think it was Montreal where there were some bar seats or some restaurant seats that had some views of certain courts,
Oh,
of some side courts. And I thought that was cool too to have like a
yeah.
different version of a cocktail bar where you're getting some tennis views. And I'm like, that's different. I like that.
I
Ask
think
for all kinds
Montreal's
of
the only
different.
place.
I know.
Yeah, yeah. But like French Open, to like obviously that's a slam. Like unless like the
Mm.
VIP sections were like you better be a
Yeah,
celebrity,
yeah,
right?
exactly, exactly. So you're such a big
Like
level.
that.
You need really expensive
Yeah,
tickets or VIP tickets or be part of the inner circle. You're
yeah.
more in you're in economy. You're in economy for the French
Straight
Open,
up
right?
civilian there, and also no chance of ever upgrading. No chance of ever upgrading there. No,
You said okay. You can dream, Chris. You can dream. I believe in you.
no.
You can do it.
Yeah, maybe I just think too small, but like all those empty box seats on the lower level I could never afford were just mocking me. They're like
Oh,
daytime tickets. We don't show up till nighttime. Yeah,
that's funny.
yeah. But it was fun, man. I would absolutely do that again. It was so fun. I really enjoyed, uh, especially when you're going with like the four of us were all fucking hardcore. Like nobody really wanted to leave. They just were really getting into the games, and yeah.
You know
So
what?
I
It's
think
it's
I'm
an
just as pumped.
it's an intense day. I was gonna say, like it's a 10-hour day in the sun.
Yeah,
Watching tennis. It's a long day. You kind of got to be like prepped for it. You know.
and the chairs aren't particularly comfortable, right?
Totally.
Like
Oh yeah.
you gotta say for like a white collar bougie sport, like super uncomfortable seats.
Yeah.
But
Hey, were there people scalping? Could you get a last minute ticket?
no, I don't think so. It's like
Oh,
I think for the slams, I think there was like the secondary market, but they try really hard to get rid of that. Like there was like just a lot of hurdles like where you didn't know if you're gonna get real or fake tickets, I felt.
got
So
it, got it,
like
got it. Yep.
in a way it's better, but we also had to get lucky and had to win a lottery to get the tickets. Because I think the demand is
Oh,
super
you
high.
mentioned
So
that. You mentioned that. Yeah, that's a good system. That's a good system of lotteries to get, tickets.
yeah. So here's how it worked. The only way, because we had to go on a certain day because of just how Dave's vacation worked, right? Like he didn't have any flexibility. So we had to go on that certain day. And the only way to guarantee to get tickets on that day was to buy VIP tickets. But the VIP tickets are like 600 euros a seat. It's like $1,000 a pop, right? And we all had them. So we bought the VIP tickets because that was the only way to guarantee. And then his wife, actually, we all entered the lottery to just try and buy the economy tickets. And his wife actually won that. So then I ended up reselling the VIP tickets on the official site, but you can't scalp them. You actually, in
Sell for cost.
contrast, only get cost minus 10%. So
Yep, makes
we
sense.
actually took a loss.
Yep.
But to go from 600 euros to 110, we're like, fuck,
Oh,
we'll
amazing.
just spend that 500 euros on merch
And so when
instead
you
of,
when you win the lotto, or you could buy up to four tickets, I assume, or something like
yeah, yeah, that's what she did. Yeah.
that. Nice.
So, uh, yeah, the seats were a bit worse, but the other way to look at it was like the other seats weren't 500 euros better. They were basically just like, if you want to guarantee, this is the price,
Yep.
right? So, so we got a bit lucky that we didn't have to spend 600 euros to get the tickets.
Nice. Yeah, it's all of those lottery systems to win it. And you gotta have flexible schedules. You kind of gotta, be able to handle the, going or not going without flights or something. You really have to
Yeah.
kind of gamble.
And so I'm also just super pumped. It was like, man, 28 degrees, 28 to 30 degrees for the 3 days there. So to me, that's like perfect weather. Like mid to high 20s is just the air is just comfortable when you're walking around. You can sit out on a fucking cafe patio for as long as you want. You don't really get cold at night. It's just great.
Um, that's what it feels like here right now. It is 28 to 30 degrees in Calgary right now. It is
Yeah.
hot. It's a hot
Yeah.
weekend. It's a beautiful hot weekend. So it's been nice all week.
Climate change,
Only
man.
a
Yeah.
good thing for Canada, really. Um, I think.
All right. Now I'm ready for the pitch.
Oh, you want to
I think that
pitch?
was my 3 day Paris experience, but I'm pretty stoked about it. So, want to get the pod recorded. It's 1 a.m. my time right now, but it's just
Okay,
like a ski trip. I think the pod works best when I'm the most stoked and it's the most fresh in my brain
that's
about
what you
how
want to do.
great.
I could tell. I rushed home to get a pot in here, and
That's amazing.
you got to time it for when you're fresh. I agree. Um, this pitch is really
And when
fresh.
you're like,
I think that'll be
yeah,
fun
and when
to
you're
pitch
like
it.
the first person I tell,
Exactly.
when you're the first person I tell, and we
Yeah.
record it, then everyone's getting like my raw excitement, right? Like,
Exactly.
and it turns out I'm actually a fucking great travel buddy. I think I'm a good travel buddy.
You're a good travel
So,
buddy, Chris. You're a good travel buddy. I can attest
yeah.
to that. Okay, well, I won't keep you up too long because I know you want to go to bed and you're probably
Eh,
tired. But I'll
no,
give you a
I'm
pitch if you
good.
want. I haven't really well thought this out, to be honest. But there's something here, and but you should ask if you want to ask questions, or I can go into the pitch. What do you want me to do?
I just wanted to tell you that I'm interested because obviously, over was it Christmas? Over
Yep.
Christmas, we had that opportunity to buy a place. Didn't do it. So I'm curious because you know that we had this opportunity and didn't do it. And I think it would have made money actually because the sales guy texted me to say the unit the unit we sold would have made like, we probably would have made 50% in 6 months judging it. But
I
I still think it was the right move to turn it down given the uncertainty. So I'm curious because uh, it obviously has to be a deal better than that because you know what we turned down. So that's why I'm serious. That's
well,
why I'm
see,
curious.
this is a different mindset, and this one might be, and I think I'm still in the early vetting process of it, and I'm hoping maybe you'll help me vet it. Um, but it is a different mindset. And I think we invest differently. So this is an Adil deal. And this is what I was trying to tell you that like Adil deals are different than that standard deal, um, which I think wasn't bad. And it's cool they sold it. We'll see how it turns out. Um, all of the projects I typically work on um, start off really messy and it's not obvious it's a winner, you know? But I work on gut instinct. They feel like winners, and you have to jump into the weeds and kind of gamble a bit and test it and hope you're a winner. But this one's hard, but I'll give it to you, and I think it is better, but hard to know. So the pitch really is: I love my house, and I think I got a good deal on it, and I think the reason why I got a good deal on it is I think it's a gem in the rough that people don't realize. And I think Bridgeland is a gem that's starting to be polished just based on what I see. And the area I bought, very specifically, a very tiny block, is very special. And what's really surprising is my neighbor is moving and not moving because of choice, actually. Okay, I, wait, should I dox him? Oh, God, it's bad.
No,
He,
just don't use pronouns.
don't use pronouns. Sorry, I wasn't gonna dox
No,
them, but
use pronouns.
I was gonna say that okay, this is a situation where there's a couple, right? And one of them is like, I need to move home to London, England, because I need to see my family more, and our kids need to see my grandparents more. What the heck? We did move back to London, England, and the male's like, but I have my dream home and my dream plan, and I love Calgary. Why are you making me do this? And then they decide it's they just have to go, right? Because they just have to because she said so.
Yeah, because the wife calls the shots.
Yeah, of course. That's just the way most relationships work. So, um,
Is it?
just kidding, just joking. Some relationships work that way. I
Okay,
think
so
I think
he's
I think
being it's a
switching. I
forced
think
sale.
it's a
It's a no,
forced
wait,
sale.
it's a forced sale.
Yes,
So
forced
it's
sale.
similar pitch to what we heard, right? Forced sale.
Similar pitch,
There's a
right?
time urgency to it,
So they're leaving in 3 weeks, by the way.
or
Okay,
so they say.
or so they say, right? They listed the property 10 days ago, 15 days ago, and they had one offer on it. Um, they listed it for 20 grand lower than they paid for it 4 years ago. So that's not bad itself, right? However, it is listed. It's currently for sale 68,000 higher than mine. Realize they're also cookie cutters. We're the two cookie cutter houses on the block. We are the exact same lot. We're the very, 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 very similar layout, almost identical. However, mine is needs has not gone through a rental process, where theirs kind of went through a weird staged rental process where some of the things are not that great and some of the things are actually better. Like they have AC, I don't have AC. They have new hardy board all around the building where I don't. I have shitty siding in some places still. So there's some they have a newer roof. They have a newer kitchen, but maybe it's not the right layout. Whole bunch of weird things, regardless. Um, but I like it for the same reasons I like my house because I think this land value is just a great long-term hold. And I can't prove that. You have to experience it. And I think that's one easy realization of why I would like to buy that place. Now, the other factor is I think it scales really nicely what I'm going to do already, which is I'm dividing my top and bottom floors, and my plan is to make the bottom floor a suite. And that suite, I don't exactly know my plan yet, but I'm probably going to Airbnb it. I'm going to Airbnb it, generate some revenue. I'm going to save it for my sister when she comes to travel. I'm going to save it for my parents if they want to stay over. They can stay over in the
You're
suite,
gonna
and a lot of
you're
reasons,
gonna Airbnb it managed by you.
something like that, something like that. We'll see. Starting off managed by me, I'll offload it when I need to offload it, right? So the reason why I want to buy that one isn't because for two reasons. One, to hold it for 10 to 15 years because I swear the redevelopment on this land is worth a ton. That's the real long-term winner. But the short-term winner is, well, two other Airbnbs are there, one top floor and one bottom floor. And the synergy of right next to each other is three Airbnbs right next to each other. And of course, if I leave the city or go get jobs somewhere else, now it's four Airbnbs because now the top is an Airbnb. And realize I, I went to China and procured a lot of stuff, right? The reason why I procured these things is because I wanted to make that Airbnb really nice and have these nice amenities that typically Airbnbs don't have. And it's a nice gem of it. There's a couple alternative reasons of that as well, but one of them also is I like things to get used. The same reason why when I had a hot tub plan, I wanted it to be the problem with most people's hot tubs is they don't use them. They go through the first streak of 6 months using their hot tub. They kind of get bored of it. And then they take out the water and then they're just like, do I really need a hot tub? And then it just stays closed for 7 years, you know? Same with swimming pools. And the rule is you have to get your hot tub used or your swimming pool used. And Airbnb is a great way to get your features used. Your sauna gets used, your cold plunge gets used, your hot tub gets used, and it gets cleaned professionally because you can afford it. I think that's the synergy. Remember, our backyards touch. So remove the fence and you have a sauna shared by both sides, all three Airbnbs. Or so my intuition is short term, it's Sweden. Long term, the redevelopment. And the proof on the redevelopment is if you just look on my block, there's a house right there that's for sale right now for $2.4 million. This lot is the same size as that house with the same perfect vantage points. You add up my house plus that house, it's 1.2 mil in land cost roughly, plus your build. Your build, I think you build less than 1.2 mil. And in the future here, I think you appreciate. There's 2.4 mil there. That one over there is even slightly bigger, two houses down. I don't know the purchase price because it was a build. I can't look it up. I believe it's 2.6 or 2.7 million dollars. This is two houses down from me, three houses down from me. And why? Well, the reason why this is a gem, and most people don't realize it, is it's the view and it's the accessibility to this park and it's the accessibility to Bridgeland. And if you look what's happening in Bridgeland right now, it's getting densified really rapidly. You're going to have twice the population in Bridgeland soon. And that means you get a wave of amazing restaurants and cafes. You can already feel it. You see it already. All the grungy places are gone now. And they're all like, they're turning into like higher end spots. They're becoming Marta-loopy.
Hmm.
I can just feel it. Just my intuition.
Okay, it's becoming Marta Loop. So you're just gonna buy the house, rent it out until someone wants to demolish it and put in an infill. Is
To be
that the
honest,
thesis?
I want to do that actually. I want to be the one who does the development on it because I trust myself to do it well. But yes, of course you could flip it. I don't think that's where the goods are. The goods are when you do it. But that's the risk. Risky. It takes me 10 years to learn how, 15 years to learn how. And of course, you need the
You'll have
practice.
ass cancer by then.
Yes, I might have ass cancer by then. Oh, I got one more piece of knowledge I forgot to give you. Um, I mentioned the mansion over there and the one for sale up there. I forgot to mention our friends on the other side of the street. The other neighbors. Okay, wait. I guess basically, my block only has 7 lots at this moment. Okay, my block has 7 lots. Across the street has 0 lots. It's a green field. There's only 7 lots on my street. They all have beautiful Calgary views, right?
You have an
Let's
exclusive view. You have an exclusive street. You have an exclusive street in Calgary or cul-de-sac or whatever.
correct. It's not a cul-de-sac, it's a street. Correct. Okay, let's talk about lot one and what lot one's doing right now. Lot one acquired land from the city for 250 grand to get more land adjacent because there was city land right beside it. They're cutting lot one because it's got this extra land they paid for into 3 lots and building them to $1.2 million houses each is the plan. Lot
How do
two,
you know that?
like they're my neighbors. Talk to them. You can see the construction is starting now. They're starting their dev permits. They're rebuilding the water line. They forced the city to rebuild the water line on the street below us, and they're redoing that whole road right now. My water is on temporary water right now, which is weird. Okay, whatever it does. Lot one is doing that, splitting the 3 lots. Lot two acquired land from the city as well for less money because he was forced to because of lot one, and they made a deal to do it because they're neighbors. And he's building a carriage house on that land. Right? Basically, I have this crappiest house out of the 7. That's the best way to be, by the way.
No
Right?
surprise there.
Of course, no surprise. No surprise at all, right? And my neighbor has the second crappiest house. Not the crappiest, I have the crappiest house. They have the second crappiest. That's the right move. It's buying the second crappiest house.
Once you buy it, you'll have the crappiest house again.
Exactly. Okay, and sorry, lot 3 actually is vacant land owned by lot 4. Lot 4, there's a really grungy house that looks like it's the shittiest house. It's not. It's got a slightly bigger lot and it has a garage area. Um, Lot 4 owns lot 3, which is vacant. That was demolished. And he's waiting for the right moment as well. Okay. Lot 7 is the mansion house, which is 2.6 to 2.8. Lot 6 is somebody we could turn into if we wanted to be somebody. Lot 5 is my neighbor. Lot 4 is me. That's the story. Now, is there a math calc there? Yeah, probably, but you have to do it. Right?
That's
And
your pitch.
yeah,
The
it's my
pitch is
pitch.
you haven't done the math.
I haven't done the math. I
So
mean, I've
why
done the
can't?
math.
So
I've
why
done the
haven't
math for
you?
myself, but
Why why haven't you bought it?
oh, so I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about buying it, and then I'm considering, well, why don't I get my friends involved, and instead of taking the full leverage myself, maybe consider giving you 50 stake. I just took Jack through my neighborhood to sell him on Bridgeland, and he was inspired. And I think it's hard to get inspired. I think you have to join me for a barbecue sunset, obviously. That's how you actually see it.
Have
But
you have you had a joint mortgage though?
I haven't. You've done this. You're an expert in this, man.
Yeah. You basically need to be able to service it yourself. So there's actually no benefit to doing it like that.
So to be honest, I can probably service it alone. I probably don't actually need help, but I think I prefer to not be full leverage is probably my preference. But I don't know.
Okay.
I'm open actually. I'm actually open to it. Um,
No, no, I'm just trying to understand. Okay. You just don't you just want to share the risk, is
correct.
what you're saying.
I believe.
Because you actually take on the full leverage.
I
That's
agree.
as
I
I
understand.
understand.
Fully understand.
You just want to share the risk. So it's 600K.
It's 650 right now. But I think we can. I'm anchoring him lower because mine's bought 5 months ago for 582. So
Plus, we would do it with no buying realtor, and he
correct.
should be able to trim another like 10, 15K off that.
I think we can do it private if he turns off the listing.
No, he can't because he would have signed. He would have
Oh, he
signed a
signed it.
non-compete.
You're correct. He signed. Yes.
Um, but then how long would you leave it as an Airbnb?
See, this is a good question. And you could turn it into a long-term rental. I believe the cash flow on that is pretty nil, from my understanding. It might be slightly negative, maybe 100 or 200 bucks. It's between nil and minus 200 a month, if I were to guess.
For a long-term rental?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you said you want to do it as a short-term rental.
I want to do short term, correct.
Okay, which would be
Um,
better.
I believe so. Yep. I believe the margins on Airbnb are probably 20 to 40% better than a long-term rental, but they come with risk and they come with annoyances. Um, oh, also, I'm renovating my place. I'll probably do a little reno in that place as well. I think there needs to be a bathroom installed upstairs, to make the suite easier. There needs to be a little bit of
Are
work
they
and
are
furniture.
they legal suites?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I can't answer that at this moment. They both have separate entrances
Okay,
because they're on hills, right? They both have
okay.
separate pathways to proper entrances.
So I think that's fine because lots of up and downs have separate entrances. I think what you'd need are large-sized egresses in the bedrooms.
So remember that you're right, but it's on a hill. So there's only a front door to walk out of, and it's small enough square footage. I don't think you need large egress windows. I might be wrong about that. Um, because the travel distance between where you're sleeping and the door is literally 20 feet because it's such a small house. I might be wrong about fire code there, but I have to look that one up. With Airbnb, I think you get away with a little more grace. With proper suites, you can do illegal or you can do legal, right? There's a lot of weird ways to do it. Um, I don't know all the answers, to be honest, and I won't pretend like I'm an expert, but I'm a good hustler. That's really it. Um, I think it feels right to me, and I consider doing it alone actually, but um, it just sounds like fun. It sounds like it's scaling. It's just scaling what I'm already doing. It doesn't sound hard. It's like I'm already doing that. It's just doing it twice now, which is even easier, you know? Um, typically.
It'd only be easier if you were doing one after the other. But since you're doing it in parallel, there's no learning curve.
Correct. I mean, I've been starting for 5 months, but you're right. You're right. Um,
Uh,
it is more paralyzed for sure. I mean, what you could do is rent it out for short-term rental for 6 months or whatever for the whole place, and then do the rental later. You could stagger it on learning, but your gamble, you don't get a test case. You don't get a test case out of mine to learn to do that. You're making the same gamble, right? It's the same time frame of gambling. And then I'd say the worst thing is you're buying in the summertime when I buy it in the wintertime. When I bought it in the wintertime, you had to imagine how nice it looked. You can actually see somewhat how nice that looks. Also, the market's softening. I don't want to overthink this on the pod too much, to be honest. Let's talk about this offline. But I thought it'd be fun to hear to say it out loud, and I'm excited. It makes me excited to pitch and to talk about it. Any
I
final
think it's a
questions?
little bit of work. Uh, well, if you're basically pitching me, trust me, bro.
Yeah, trust me, bro. That's it. That's the pitch.
That's fine as long as we're saying the same things. Uh, I guess I need to be there. I'm definitely not sold on it.
Yeah, I think what would sell you is actually math. I think you need to see the math, and I think I need to do that. Here's what I would recommend going forward. I would
Plus, you haven't.
consider the 25%, so it's a little easier on a trust me bro rather than a full 50%.
Oh, I see. You want me to take a quarter of the mortgage. So 20% down would be 120. You want 30K.
Um, is that all I'm asking for? I is that sounds too little. Yeah,
If it's
20
600,
twenty-five
if it's
percent of
650,
all costs and risk, right? Sure. Yeah, you're right. 30 plus, and then any reno incidentaries and upkeep and all that jazz, right? That
and
comes with it.
you'll take no extra profit on your own efforts.
So this is we can negotiate this a bit. I'll add a sweetener to it, which is um, the upgrade on amenities will come at my expense because I already paid for them. So like,
Like hot tubs and stuff.
yeah, it's mine. I already paid for them. I already expected those to be mine. Um, but the effort one, we should figure out how to make that scale properly. The effort one's really messed up, man. The effort one is really whack because it's really hard to calculate effort and fairly. And I noticed this from a lot of deals. um, that most people don't know how to calculate the effort correctly. I would prefer the effort calc to be like this. I would track hours. We know there's a fair rate and a market rate, but I would rather that be like a convertible equity sweetener of some sort. I don't know how to do it properly, but my intuition is um, my intuition is that it's a sweeter deal because I don't charge full hours. I just don't. I just do it because I'm having fun already. But maybe not, especially when it's at the 25% mark. But maybe not. I don't know how to do it properly. I probably ripped myself on that deal, to be honest. I don't know how to do it where what I'd like to do, to be honest, is the trust me, bro, gives me the confidence when we're actually doing the big development that you're still in trust me, bro situation. That you didn't lose your trust me, bro from the first one. That the bigger one you're actually game for. Because I don't want you to bail on that. That's what I actually want to do. And I want you to keep your trust me, bro, all the way through. So I'm willing to take the sacrifice on that now because I want the trust me, bro, to last to the actual fun, bigger one that I lined up
What's
10
the
years in
fun
the
bigger
future.
one again?
The bigger one is
Oh,
you build these
the
beautiful,
hypothetical one.
yeah. And I actually want to try. And of course I might fail, but I want you to keep that trust me, bro, till then and not bail on me in 5 years. Sure, they can be a shotgun clause, but that's the fun for me, man. I'm setting myself up for a big trust me, bro. Right? Is kind of where, and then it's really for myself too, because I want to do that for here, where and then this is the reason why I like it is remember I talked about lot 3 and 4. You can go bigger. There's scalability, and you know, and that's just fun to dream it, and but you know, it's easier I think about it like Monopoly. I think about it literally about like Monopoly. To win Monopoly, you got to get 3 pieces of property in a line, right? And that's what this feels like, you know. you don't win it with just one stupid property. You need two in a space, and that just feels right to me. You know, but it's not an easy thing to pull off. This project requires you to think in longer time frames. But it's hard. Regardless, I want to get off of it because I think I don't want to lose all our audience on my dreams and aspirations about life. But um, what can we close on happy here, Chris? Outside of my project,
Close on happy?
what I mean close on happy is like something that's enjoyable to talk about.
Hmm.
That makes us smile. Like that's how you got to close a pod.
Yeah. Well, I kind of blew my load on the Paris trip.
Ah, nice. That's a good way to end it.
I mean, I'm still feeling pretty good about that, bro. All right. We can make it a short pod.
We
I,
made a
I
short
mean,
pod.
I
We talked about a short
I like
pod.
the pitch. Yeah, I like the pitch. I'm
Hey,
glad we
that's
did it on the pod. It was, you took a risk, you
that's
know?
the first that's the first pitch on pod, by the way. You know, so
Is it?
I think so. I think it's first big pitch on pod. So hopefully we'll have another handful.
Yeah. All my ideas right now are small ball. So I don't I don't have a better pitch.
Yeah,
So
we'll see how that one in East Village turns out. I mean, I think we'll know in
we're gonna
3 years, right?
we're gonna buy you a globe. Then we'll somehow get you to Germany so you actually understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah. I've been talking to my uncle in Germany recently. He's been wanting me to go there. He's in Budapest right now, and
Okay.
I got a bunch of reasons to go over there now, so it's on the list.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you what. My sister's flying to Saudi Arabia in the summer, so I'm closer.
Okay.
I have to go through Europe to get to her, so there's no direct flights to the Middle East. So I'm going
Usually
through
it's through
London.
Munich.
Exactly. There you go.
Oh, London. Okay.
So I mean, I'm heading to Europe next year. So
Bro, just fucking detour here for a couple days. Also, do you know there's an A380 route that lands in Dusseldorf? Like you could ride one of the last quad engine aircrafts that are still flying that route.
ooh,
But it goes to Qatar, I believe.
interesting. I
Qatar.
will keep that
I
in
can't
mind.
pronounce that country.
It's Qatar, I think. Qatar.
I think
Um,
it's not.
I think it's
But
Qatar. Like one of our family members lived there, so I think it's Qatar. Pretty sure. Might be wrong. It might be wrong actually. I don't know. Uh,
yeah, no, that'd be cool to show you around. Uh,
dude, it's been
I
it's been.
have oh,
You'll be there for at least
I
a year,
wanted to
right?
hit you up.
So I'll be there. I'll be there.
Oh, well, I think so. Unless something goes terribly wrong.
Oh, you know what?
Like terribly wrong.
I still haven't visited Kyle in Mexico yet. It makes me sad. It's been on my list for so long, but I don't know why I haven't made it there.
I have so many questions for that guy. Like how he decided to do that, how he stayed. That guy's also living like a very interesting life, which like piques my curiosity as well.
We got to get him on the pod. We got to get Kyle on the pod. Bring
Dude,
back the
that would
sweater
be fun.
gang.
Like a fucking throwback. Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a
Um,
good way to finish it off. Do you want to come on the pod? Please reach out. We want people to join us on this pod. But I know we've had a couple people who like alluded to it.
is
What do
that
we
a
have to
plea
tell
for our
them
listeners?
one more time? Yeah, for
Is
our
that a
listeners.
plea to our listeners to come on the pod?
I mean, I'm just saying that the door is open. But you know what? One thing I wanted to say was the door is open, and I was going to ask you, Chris, what should we ask of other pod members so they can prep themselves?
Well, we don't prep ourselves, so why should we ask them to do anything we don't do?
Perfect. Setting
I
the
would
precedent.
say be charismatic, be interesting. What? Lots of people are not. They fucking show up on Monday and they're like, "How was your weekend?" They're like, "Good." They talk about like their trip to Costco.
you want to come on the
Unlike
pod, you got to be interesting. Yep. Yep.
there needs to be a couple interesting stories, I think. But you know what? Like if I know them, I can elicit cool stories. Like I can facilitate like bringing that out of them, I
So,
think, because
so
I'll
my requirements are okay. First of all, please install Discord because that's where we're hosting this thing. Um, have some headphones in so you have that prepped, and then come only for a 10-minute or 15-minute segment. Like you don't have to do the whole thing. Just come for a short 10-minute, experience, and you could be the first guest on the
buddy,
pod. That's it.
first guest would be cool. Are we going to be discerning about the first guest or
No, who
just
cares? Whoever
whoever
asks
volunteers
first.
themselves
Yeah,
first?
who cares? Whoever's first can
Shit.
have it. Why would we care?
It's, we're we're whores. That makes us sound like whores.
No, it's early days. This is episode 14. Who cares? Wait till we
True.
get to episode
Okay.
100 and we can be like selective,
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
Wait, but you never explained why you chose to have a Dyson stick vacuum in the shot for today.
Oh, I
Is there
didn't
a reason
mean
behind
to. I
that?
moved my desk. My desk went from over there to over here. It's moved 10 feet to the right. My
Okay,
living
so
room
that was an
changed.
accident.
What? No, it wasn't intentional. My Dyson's attached to the wall, man. It exists there. Like it's just it's a nice Dyson.
No, I understand.
I'm trying to get us a
I was
Dyson
just wondering if
sponsorship. Oh, I didn't realize I had a
I
logo
was
in the
just
shot.
curious.
Um,
Now you're gonna get us banned.
you know what? I gotta advocate for Dyson vacuums. I've never owned a nice vacuum most of my life until this year, and owning a nice vacuum really makes a difference. Wow, yeah, it's just night and day. And the lyric is quite a shedder. So pet mode. You need the pet one, the pet Dyson vacuum.
Here's what I don't understand. Okay. A vacuum is just a motor that sucks air. I don't dispute that the Dyson's better because I had one also. Why is it better though? And then what the fuck is pet mode? Like, is it if there's a pet mode and it's somehow better, why don't you just make all the vacuums that good? It's like the whole fucking thing about like the Safeway club members save money. It's like, why are you making me carry a card? Why don't you just make the prices always that low? Like, you obviously still make money because you just have to assume all your customers are members. Why is there a Dyson pet mode? And why isn't that just the vacuum? Why do I get a shittier vacuum because I don't have a pet? What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. Okay, wait. I don't know if the pet mode is better. I assume the pet mode has thicker bristles or something that doesn't let the. It's more used to hair. You're more used to having hair go through the vacuum, so it doesn't like it's built maybe not to get that stupid hair situation around your like roller situation. Maybe it's got a little blade to cut them or something dumb. It's got like shearing abilities where, most of the time if you didn't have a pet, you're like vacuuming Cheerios and like other stuff and it's not hair exclusivity. Like for a pet vacuum, you're exclusively vacuuming hair. That's 90%
Unless
of
it's
things
like
that go. Yeah.
unless it's like a military family and like every dude in the house has a buzz cut, so it might as well just be fur.
Yeah, that's possible. I
I don't know.
vacuum almost every day now because of lyrics. And
Why don't you get a robot? You can get a Roomba for that.
so I have a Roomba over there, but
Okay.
the battery was dead because it's like 6 years old. So I bought a replacement battery, but the charger I can't find. I need to buy a new charger. Yes, I need the Roomba working. I might buy a really fancy Roomba.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous that you basically just told me that your Roomba is disposable. You're like, yeah, the battery's dead and I lost the charger, so I just tossed it in the
I
ocean
didn't
and I
throw it
bought
away
this
yet. I
new one.
didn't throw it away yet. I bought a replacement battery, and I need to buy a replacement charger because that Roomba's followed me for the last 8, 7, 6 years.
Here's another question. What's the reason for Roombas being round? Like, why are they round?
It's they're round because it's a smaller profile to move around the room. They're not sharp and hit things. they boink things slowly, like right.
I've
Remember they
never
have
had a Roomba
and
before.
they have whiskers, so they're actually a square, right? Their whiskers are the spinny things that make the square shape, right?
A Roomba is to a battle bot. Remember Robot Wars?
Yes,
A
I
Roomba
remember.
is to a battle bot what a Pomeranian is to a wolf.
Wow. There's a
Think
Seinfeld
about
joke here somewhere about circle
it.
Roombas for sure. I'm sure I've heard this one actually, but
No, no.
I like the Pomeranian to a wolf, BattleBot to a
Yeah.
Roomba. Yeah,
You got the fucking battle bot that has like the buzz saw and the thing that always flips the robot.
yeah, it's a
And it
common one.
evolved from the pneumatic flipper to like the little corner tickler. And now it's a Pomeranian.
Yes, yes. BattleBot's the reason why we have Roombas, without question. Um, always wanted to build a BattleBot. Um,
Oh, you know what they should make then? Dude, maybe this already exists. They should make autonomous battle bots that aren't driven by their owners. So they're actually just two mechanized Roombas.
oh, I don't think
Dude,
that exists
that's a
yet.
good idea.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea for a game. Hey, speaking of autonomous things, I might win my bet in a month here. Um,
Wait, we made a bet too. What did we make a bet on?
we made a bet that within 2.5 years, um,
Right.
Elon
Tesla.
would open Cybercub to the public, and apparently he's been fucking saying this out loud for the last 2 weeks that they're launching in Austin in a month here. So
Oh, if you win that bet, I'll happily pay up. I thought he was still crying about getting hated on by the Trump
well, he
administration.
was. He got two, and he just left Doge and the administration recently. But this is my. I didn't know this was coming, by the way, this summer, and I don't know if it'll actually still happen or it'll be a private beta or whatever, really private or something, right? Like maybe it'll be like 10 cars and
So
doesn't count. We
we
said
had certain
public.
conditions
We said
where,
public. Where like one of us could book it. We could go to Austin and book it on an
yeah,
app. It can't be
exactly.
like a private. So private doesn't count. But there's. I still got 2 years left,
If
man.
if
So
that happens, you and I will fly to Austin, and then we will record the segment
correct.
inside the car.
Definitely.
We'll
Without
record the
question.
pod in the car.
Yes. And we'll go
Yeah,
see Rogan's comedy room because it's down there apparently.
the mothership. Oh, here's another thing that they have in Germany. Like multiple coworkers of mine have it. It's a Roomba for grass. It just cuts
Yes,
grass.
yes, yes. I've seen one. I was looking, so I thought maybe is there a Roomba for shoveling snow? I know yes, there actually is, but there's not very many.
There is.
There is, but it's really
That's
shitty at
the
this moment.
challenging
It's
one.
not very, there's one company that I found that does it, not very
Have they
well.
tried making it round?
I think I think that's a winning idea in Canada, by the way. Roomba for sidewalk shoveling? Are you kidding me? Like that's a winner. But you need like gigantic tires and you need like you gotta handle the ice too. But imagine it. It can shovel before things freeze, man. That's what we need to do, right? It's snowing at 2 a.m. Go shovel it, right?
Maybe if it's snowing, then it just needs to be a brush as opposed to actually because it just needs to blow away the snow that's coming down so
It's
that it
true.
never actually settles.
I think we solved this problem with heated sidewalks, but I don't know.
That's a completely different mechanism.
Yes. That's what rich people have. They have heated driveways.
Do they? Do you know anyone who has that?
No, I don't know anybody who has that.
That's insane,
Isn't that
actually.
insane? It's insane, right? Isn't it just a waste of energy? like maybe if you
It's
had
also
geothermal, I mean, like you were literally just heating the fucking world. Oh God.
no, 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 no. But Japan has that, and so does Iceland because their hot water's free. Like
Oh, of
when we
course.
went
Oh yeah, of
skiing in
course.
Japan,
Geothermal. Of
they
course.
had that.
Geothermal. Sure, sure. Geothermal. If you got free energy, man, use it. I get it.
Here's the thing they don't account for though, right? It's like if I'm a rich guy just in Calgary melting my fucking sidewalk with assuming natural gas, I don't know.
Natural gas. It's natural gas. No
Um,
question. Solar. I don't think it's solar,
all
man.
it's doing though is it's creating liquid water that turns to ice
Somebody
as soon as
else's
it
plane.
leaves my property.
Yes, it is true. Yep.
And then you're creating ice where like a normal pedestrian would not be expecting ice because no one's expecting you to have heated sidewalks. And so you're literally just pushing your problem onto
It's there's not a
literally
drain.
like
There might be
poor people.
drainage. There must be drainage that takes it away to the common people's water, area. But yes, yes,
That'd
it's
be
true.
that would be the responsible way to do it. But I also wouldn't be surprised if people are like, well, it's off my property, so now it's no longer my problem. And then there's like some guy at the end of like down the hill just has like a giant sheet of ice because like Scrooge McDuck turned on his heated sidewalks again, and this guy's just like paying the price for it.
I got to the realization I came to recently was that AC is the reason why we have global warming. Like
It's
it's
ironic, right?
it's exactly AC. It's definitely like if we just didn't have AC, you know, I swear that solves the problem. But we're just too
I thought it
spoiled,
was
you know.
I thought it was douchebags like me flying to
I
Paris.
mean that too, no question about it. But I think it's just the fact that we're just, you know, expelling heat energy into the world to cool our small areas where we live, and then heating the rest of the world. Like that's all we're doing with air conditioning. We're heating the planet.
Yeah, of course.
That's
I
all we're
mean,
doing.
that's if you were to zoom out on that idea though, that's just humankind.
Oh, totally.
Like,
Yeah.
let me finish this, and I actually have one good story to end this on that. This actually ties everything back to Paris. But that's just humankind. That's just everyone selfishly drawing a box around the thing they care about, and then they're just like, "Well, I'm good." And then, like, the back of the AC is just dumping all the heat into everybody else's house, right? So,
Yeah.
anyway,
I
why was
mean,
I thinking that? I was thinking that because we're monkeys. That's what monkeys do, right? They're like, "Oh, well, my tribe's good. I don't care if the other chimps in that other tree don't get any fruit. Like, I'm good." But anyway, I don't know how good of a story it is, but it sounds good to me because Connie laughed. It's
oh,
that
that's
so
your
we came
Paris guide.
down.
Okay, God.
We came down. No, Connie's the person I went to Paris with, but then my friend is my Paris guide. And she's cool too, actually. Fun story. Um, for a different time. Um, so we come back to Dusseldorf and it's like thunderstorming. Saw some kick ass lightning strikes out the plane window, by the way. And of course, there's fucking turbulence coming back, and like people were like white knuckling it, and like Connie was like a little bit nervous as well. But I'm like, Connie, number one, they test these fucking planes like amazingly, and she had just told me she loves amusement parks, and I'm just like, well, this is like a free roller coaster ride. Like this should just be fun. And she's like, no, 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 like roller coaster, blah blah blah. I'm like, what are you talking about? Number one, that roller coaster is inspected like once a fucking year, right? Like this plane is inspected after every use. Number two, landing in the thunderstorm is probably the most exciting thing this pilot's done in like the last month. Like this guy is dialed the fuck in. Like he is the most alert he's ever been. Like what you don't want is a bright sunny day where he's just landing with autopilot, like being super complacent. And so I calmed her down, but I think it's pretty normal for people to be like afraid of flying. And then this guy, like in this turbulent thunderstorm, and just like touches the plane down perfectly with like the minimum amount of like side to side. And I was like, this is a fucking textbook landing. And of course, we get off the plane, and there's number one, my beef with Europe is that they don't have jet bridges. It's stupid. You always get off, and then you have to like get on some
The bus.
fucking bus. So stupid. And then this lady is like openly weeping on the bus. Like she was like so scared
Whoa.
from that landing. And I was just like, talking to Connie, and I was just like, but maybe that's the most normal reaction because like us monkeys have no fucking business flying at like Mach 1 in a chair on a plane. Like I was like, she probably has the most normal reaction of us all. Like, why are we not bothered by any of this? Because it would actually be insane. And I don't know. Maybe we're trying to make her feel weird because she's like sobbing from like the harrowing landing, which actually wasn't even that bad. But uh, maybe we're the ones that are wrong, and she's actually the most correct person.
I think we're definitely monkeys, and we're doing things outside of our, you know, traditional
Yeah, you're
monkey
supposed to
ways.
be afraid of heights. You're supposed to be.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're exploring new territories. Us monkeys, man. We're trying, but
Yeah, she's just that lady was just slightly more monkey and probably has like a more natural instinct, like of like, oh my god, this isn't normal. Yeah. So, but airplane turbulence doesn't bother me.
nope. Airplane turbulence doesn't bother me at all. The only thing that bugs me more recently, actually, is takeoffs. Um,
Why?
I don't know why exactly, because they never used to be. I think because I became a pilot and I learned how to fly planes, and I think that's the most dangerous time. So I just think I realized that the most dangerous time is taking off the plane between takeoff and the time when you can't land again is the most dangerous period of a flight. So for some reason now, like I'm like half asleep for all the beginning before we take off, and when we're in the air and when we're landing, I don't even care. But for some reason, I'm like wide awake, like when we're taking off for the 30 seconds, 45 seconds it takes, because in that period, you can't land on a runway. You can't make the turn back to land, right? You have to just ditch the field in
Oh,
front of you, right? Or the ocean or whatever it is, right? You just don't have the time to turn back around,
yeah.
right? So I just occurred to me just like I just start paying attention. I wake up. I'm just like, all right, how is he doing? All right, he's got power. Okay,
I've never thought
all
about
right, he's
that.
good. All right, let's just go back to sleep.
I've never thought about that. But on the other hand, I know a guy who says takeoff's the only time he can fall asleep because when he's actually being thrown back into his chair, it's the most
Totally,
relaxing.
totally. It's true. It's totally true. I don't know why I
He's
started
like,
thinking
I
of.
can only fall asleep to acceleration. And like, and then when you're like actually like properly reclined, because like you normally can't even put your seat that far back.
Oh,
He's like, if I don't fall asleep before we hit cruising altitude, I just don't fall asleep at all.
he's used to having a weighted blanket. Okay, I get it. I get it. Yeah. Oh Jesus, that's funny.
I can only fall asleep to 1.2 Gs. That's it. No. But I will say something about this pilot on the way back. Normally, when a pilot's taxiing just ahead of takeoff, he'll like turn the plane, come to a stop, or like whatever, and wait for like ATC to like give him the go ahead or whatever. I noticed this guy on this last flight, he gunned the engines before the plane was finished turning around, and that brought a lot of excitement to me. Like he had,
Oh,
because there's lag on the turbines, and he had already sped the turbines up before the plane had straightened out for takeoff, which I thought was like very interesting.
okay. Wait, I'm sure.
So
Okay,
like
what? Okay, interesting. Go ahead, keep going.
normally they taxi to the actual runway part, and then they just put the turbines on full and they go, right?
Okay, wait.
Like you know that.
Let me try to explain something when I learned how to fly planes. There's two choices actually. Okay, you do the run up, right? A run up is when you park just before the runway and you turn the engines on and off to make sure they work, right? You're just like, hey, do the engines work? Oh, they all work. Oh, the settings work. Oh, great. We're gonna have a great flight. Like you do that, right? And then you taxi to the runway. And while you're taxiing to the runway, you talk to ground control. You're like, hey, ground control, I'm at the runway. Am I cool to? I finished my run up and I'm ready to go. And then sometimes they say, oh, well, go to the runway and hold short for permission. Or they say, uh, it, go ahead and take off right away. So I think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it works for big planes, but sometimes they make you
So they must
stop
have,
on the runway, and sometimes they don't, right? I don't know.
right. So he must have got the go ahead and do it, but then he just hit the engines before the plane had even straightened out. So I knew it was going to be a good ride. And then, like, as he was like
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
pitching to land and descend into Dusseldorf, like the bank angle felt a little extra,
I like it. It's like he was
and I'm
trying to
like,
lead on a motorcycle.
yeah,
He was trying to gun it. He's just like, hey, I kind of want to take a little more G-force on the turn, just a little bit, just to enjoy it.
totally.
I like it. You're right. That's exactly what he
Just to
was
help
doing.
some of those bros fall asleep a little better, you know? So, so I was telling Connie that as we were, the one lady's crying and Connie's a little nervous, and I was like, listen, this guy, I felt him gun it a little harder on takeoff. Like, he's a good pilot. And then I was like, well, let's just see, all right? There's a little bit of a turbulent descent. Let's see if he just sets this plane down with like minimum yaw. And he just put that thing down on like a soaking wet runway. And I was like, yeah, this guy's a champ. He's probably like ex-French Air Force or something, right? Just like trying to have a
Totally.
little fun.
Try to have a little fun. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he only flies short haul because the small planes remind him of the fighter jets.
totally. Totally. That's
Yeah.
exactly what you want. Love it.
Yeah. It was a
Okay,
good time.
that was a
Sorry.
great way to end it. End it happy. All right. I think that's the pod.
2 a.m. Catch you later, Ben.